Greetings, everybody. What's going on? This your girl Tiffany coming through right here live in effect. So I just want to give my greetings to everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you share this video and also hit the notification bell whenever I'm on. All right, so today's topic, we're going to deal with the history about the National Urban League. So the National Urban League, right, it's like the NAACP, but they are a little bit more. There are what you call bipartisan. Bipartisan means that they don't represent any political party per se. So, they're just more catered. Like they're primary focusing on the blacks in the inner city community, those who are in the low income community. So you don't hear much about the National Urban League, but they still around. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the history about it. All right. So let's get started. Now, right here, I'm on the National Urban League website. Okay. So here's all the information that you can find. All right. This is their website is nul.org, the National Urban League. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's look at the origin and history behind this organization. And what was the main purpose and its objective? And who were the founders? All right, so let me show you who one of the founders is. Okay, these two are the founders. So let me click on the first person. All right. As you can see, all right, so the first founder name is, I just had his name popped up. Hold on. All right, so this is one of the founders. Okay. And his name is George E. Haynes. George E. Haynes was one of the founders of the National Urban League. All right. Then here's the second founder. Okay. So this is the second founder of the National Urban League. Her name was Ruth Standish Baldwin. This is Ruth Standish Baldwin. She was the co-founder of the Urban League. So it was Edwin, it was George, George E. Haynes, and it was Ruth Standish Baldwin that was the founders of the organization that we know today as the National Urban League. Okay. So I just want to show y'all that real quick. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the organization and what was the objective, what's the purpose of it. All right, and then I'll show you a couple of sources where you can find out more information. Okay, so here we go. Okay. All right, here it is. So now I'm on the website. This is the National Urban League, right? So the National Urban League was formerly known as the National League on Urban Conditions Among African Americans. It is a non-bipartisan historic civil rights organization based in New York City that advocates on behalf of economic and social justice for African Americans and against racial discrimination in the United States. It is the oldest and largest community-based organization of its kind in the nation. Its current president is Mark Morrell. Okay, check this out. So here's the history. The Committee on Urban Conditions Among Negroes was founded. It was called the Committee on Urban Conditions Among Negroes. Was founded in New York City on September 29, 1910 by Ruth Standish Baldwin and Dr. George E. Haynes, among others. It merged with the Committee for the Improvement of Industrial Condition Among Negroes in New York, founded in New York in 1906, and the National League for the Protection of Colored Women, founded in 1905, and renamed the National League on Urban Condition Among Negroes. Haynes served as the organization's first executive director. Okay. In 1918, Eugene K. Jones took the leadership of the organization. Under his direction, the League significantly expanded its multifaceted campaign to crack the barriers to Black employment, spurred first by the boom years of the 1920s and then by the desperate years of the Great Depression. So the main purpose of the Urban League is to focus on the economic condition of African Americans and it's supposed to help improve African Americans' quality as far as jobs are concerned. So that was the main purpose, is to give more jobs to African American or to help African Americans find jobs, and also to focus on those in the low income community. So, all right, let's go. Let's see. Where did I stop it? Okay. Anyways, the 1920, the 1920, the organization took the present name, the National Urban League. The mission of the Urban League movement, as stated by the National Urban League, is to enable African Americans to secure economic self-reliance, parity, power, and civil rights. Jones played a significant role in President Franklin D. Roosevelt administration, taking lead from the League to head the Department of Commerce unit for the study of Negro problems, and serving as part of a group of African American advisors known as the Black Cabinet. All right. So let's look up real quick what the Black Cabinet is. Okay. So the Black Cabinet, or the Federal Council of Negro Affairs, or Black Brain Trust, was the informal term for a group of African Americans who served as public policy advisors to President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his wife Eleanor Roosevelt in his terms in office from 1933 to 1945. Despite its name, it was not an official organization. The term was coined in 1936 by Mary McLeod Bethune and was occasionally used in the press. By mid-1935, there were 45 African Americans working in federal executive departments and New Deal's agency. Okay. So basically, the Black Cabinet was just a term that was used for a group of African Americans or Black people that was a part of the advisory board under President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And the term came about by Mary McLeod Bethune. So basically, it wasn't really an organization per se, but it was just Black advisors that worked under President Roosevelt and during his time. All right. So let's go back. All right, then. So in 1941, Lester Granger was appointed executive secretary and led the NUL's effort to support the March on Washington, proposed by A. Philip Randolph, Bayard Rustin, and A.J. Musk, to protest racial discrimination in defense work in the military. A week before the march was scheduled to take place, President Roosevelt issued an executive order creating the Fair Employment Practices Committee. All right. In the wake of World War II, Black veterans who fought racial hatreds overseas returned to the United States, determined to fight it at home, giving new energy to the civil rights movement. As hundreds of thousands of new jobs open up, shifting the economy from industrial manufacturing to a white collar, service oriented economy, the National Urban League turned its attention to placing HBCUs graduates in professional positions. All right. Now let's look down here. In 1961, Whitney Young became executive director amidst the expansion of activism in the civil rights movement, which provoked a change for the League. Young substantially expanded the League's fundraising ability and made the League a full partner in the civil rights movement. In 1963, the League hosted the planning meetings of A. Philip Randolph, Martin Luther King Jr., and other civil rights leaders for the March on Washington. During Young's 10 years tenure at the League, he initiated programs such as Street Academy, an alternative education system to prepare high school dropouts for college, and New Thrust, an effort to help local Black leaders identify and solve community problems. Young also pushed for federal aid to cities. And check this out. Clarence M. Pilton Jr. was from 1975 to 1981 the head of the Urban League in San Diego, California. In 1981, U.S. President Ronald W. Reagan tapped Pendleton as the chairman of the United States Commission on Civil Rights, a position which he held until his sudden death in 1988. Pendleton sought to steer the commission into the conservative direction in line with Reagan's views on social and civil rights policies. All right. So in 1994, Hugh Price was appointed as president of the Urban League. And in 2003, Mark Morrell, the former mayor of New Orleans, Louisiana, was appointed the League's 8th president and chief executive officer. He worked to re-energize the movement's diverse constituents by building on the legacy of the organization and increase the profile of the organization. All right, so right here, it goes into the current status. Let's see what it says. Today, the National Urban League has 90 affiliates serving 300 communities in 36 states and the District of Columbia. The National Urban League provides direct services in the areas of education, healthcare, housing, jobs, and justice, improving the lives of more than 2 million people nationwide. The organization also has a Washington bureau that serves as its research, policy, and advocacy arm on issues related to Congress and the administration. The National Urban League is an organizational member of the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, which advocates gun control. In 1989, it was the beneficiary of all proceeds from the Stop the Violent movement and their hip-hop single, Self-Destruction. Oh, I remember that song, Self-Destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Okay. Anyways, in May of 2017, the National Urban League produced State of Black America TV Town Hall, and that could be found on YouTube as well, which aired on TV One 2017 and 2018. All right, the TV Town Hall elevated social issues related to African Americans through an interview style format with celebrity guests. The show was executive produced by Ronna Spears Bell. In February 2018, the National Urban League launched a weekly podcast named For the Movement, which discusses persistent policy, social, and civil rights issues affecting communities of colors. All right. So these are the list of presidents and executive directors in the past. Okay. All right. So, and here's the footnotes. And if you want further reading, you can look down here at the bottom of the page. All right. All right, then. Let's see. And then right here, it says the National Urban League records held at the Library of Congress, Manuscript Division. All right. So let's check this out. All right. So as you can peace, peace, peace. How you doing? Good to see you, brother. Peace to Brother Bakari. Brother Bakari, we're gonna have to hook up. All right. So here's the information from the Library of Congress regarding to the National Urban League, and all the document information, all that good stuff, whatever you need to know. Okay. So yep. And it's over how many pages long? It's over 419 pages. So okay, let me show you some more references and sources that you can look up. All right, so here's the one about the National Urban League and New Deal programs. All right. So here we go, right here. Now, this comes from the University of Chicago Press Journal. The author is Donna Cooper Hamilton. All right, and the source is Social Service Review, June of 1984, volume 58, number 2, pages 227 to 243. Okay. And so it goes into the National Urban League and New Deal programs. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'll read like the first 2 paragraphs. All right. And it says the National Urban League is an organization that since its founding in 1910 has provided a variety of services to help Black urban Americans. The NUL has provided leadership and has participated with other organizations and concerned persons in the development of a broad range of resources and facilities to meet the social and economic needs of Black. All right. So then it goes on to say, this study of the NUL using primary sources data, the NUL papers in the Library of Congress, and the official NUL organ opportunity examines the organization in an era of great economic and political turmoil, the Great Depression. It focuses on the NUL's policy preferences in New Deal work and work relief programs and its effort to help Black workers obtain benefits from these programs. The NUL believed that at the heart of the problem confronting the Black population were unemployment and lack of employment opportunities. The League thought it was crucial for Black workers to be provided with jobs rather than relief, and this was the touchstone for its assessment of New Deal programs. At the end of the Depression decade, the NUL concluded that the private sectors could never absorb all Black workers and believed, therefore, that a permanent public works program was necessary to provide jobs for the unemployed, willing, and able to work. All right. Now check this out. It says Blacks entered the Great Depression at a distinct disadvantage, having a history of being the last hired, first fired. They experienced the effects of the Depression earlier than other groups in the country. In addition, technological changes diminished the need for common labor. In 1931, the U.S. Census Bureau's special unemployment census showed that unemployment figures for Black were considerably higher than those for whites, native, and foreign-born. In manufacturing and mechanical industries, 31.7% of native-born whites and 29.9% of foreign-born whites were out of work, while 52% of Blacks in these industries were unemployed. Unemployment figures for domestic and service workers were 17.7% for native-born whites, 12.4% for foreign-born whites, and 30.7% for blacks. The NUL estimated that the proportion of blacks unemployed varied from 30 to 60% across the country in 1931. It feared that much of the work it had accomplished was being undone by the economic depression. All right. So basically, it's giving you the outline of how the National Urban League and the New Deal policy, which was started by Franklin D. Roosevelt, and how that those two coincide together to try to help focus on the economic issues and the unemployment rate within the Black community. So basically, all right. So real quick, let's see what else I can find. Let's go down to where it says New Deal programs. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna skip down here. Okay. Several New Deal work and work relief programs were created between 1933 and 1935, in which the NUL took special interest. These programs were designated to stimulate the economy and alleviate the distress of the unemployed, and were markedly different from the usual response to the problem of unemployment that had been the case prior to the New Deal. The Civilian Conservation Corps, the Public Works Administration, and the Civil Works Administration, all created in 1933, were federal programs designated or designed to provide work for employables. The Federal Emergency Relief Administration, also created in 1933, was the first program to give direct grants to the states and enable them to raise relief standards. FARA, a relief and a work relief program, was the only New Deal program created in 1933 that established eligibility with means testing. All other CCC, PWA, and CWA, right, provided jobs to the unemployed, willing and able to work on the basis of attributed need, and unemployed status was the only eligibility standard applied, although priority was given in CCC to those most in need. All right. So it says the Works Progress Administration was created in 1935 to provide work relief to those out of work but employable. FARA was phased out. The National Youth Administration was also created at this time to provide work relief to young people living at home. Both programs were federally administered, and there was a basic difference between them in addition to the age requirement of NYA. Relief status was not an eligibility requirement of NYA, whereas with WPA, eligibility was established with economic criteria means testing. Okay. Now, work relief became decidedly different under WPA. More attention was paid to work incentives. Wages and projects could not compete with the private sectors. A major effort was made to get employable reabsorbed into the private sector labor market. Means testing became more severe. This policy affected unskilled and marginal workers most severely. All right. So basically, those are the New Deal programs, and there was many more that he had as far as policy is concerned. When we talk about Franklin Roosevelt, there's many more programs that he had under during his time as a president, but these are the main ones right here. So the ones that I got highlighted and I read to you are the main ones that was under the New Deal programs. All right. So that's that source. Let's go to the next one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I tried to present good information because it's necessary. So, okay, so let's look at the Urban League and its strategy. All right. All right. So remember, at the time, This article was written by Whitney M. Young Jr., and he was one of the directors of the Urban League, of the National Urban League, rather. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that. All right, so it's called the Urban League and its strategy. And it can be found, the source can be found at the Annals of the American Academy of Political and Social Science, January of 1965, volume 357, The Negro Protest, all right, and page 102 to 107. And it was published by Sage Publication, Inc., Incorporation, in association with the American Academy of Political and Social Science. All right, so this was a pretty old article. It was written in 1965. This was during the time when Whitney Young was one of the directors. Okay. Now, as you can see, here's the abstract. All right, let's this is the abstract. It kind of gives you the outline of what the article is about. So basically, let's just read this real quick. It says the National Urban League is a national professional community services agency with local affiliates in 70 strategically located cities, which seeks to break down discriminatory patterns impeding the progress of the Negro population toward first-class citizenship. Founded 54 years ago to assist Negroes from the rural South migrating to large cities, it has grown steadily over the years. Today, its program concentrates not only on wiping out the last vestiges of racial discrimination, but on stressing the need for self-help among Negro and other disadvantaged citizens to better qualify themselves for the trek out of poverty and into first-class citizenship. The Urban League concentrates on changing discriminatory pattern by an interracial effort. Its officials seek to bridge the gaps between white and Negro communities, to promote racial understanding, and to enlist the support of men and women in positions of power for those whose heritage has been one of deprivation and denial. Each local branch maintains a voluntary interracial board of directors and a paid, usually integrated staff. Implicit in Lee's philosophy is the frank recognition that interracial cooperation is an indispensable prerequisite to the achievement of significant and lasting gains for Negro citizens. The League also stresses that the nation cannot perfect its democratic institution until Negro citizens obtain their inalienable rights as Americans and human beings. All right, so this is the abstract that was written. Now let's go to the actual article itself, okay? All right, so I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm just going to read this first part right here. Okay. So again, the National Urban League, founded in 1910 in New York City by a group of distinguished men and women, Negro and white, is a professional community service agency established for the purpose of securing equal opportunity for Negro citizens. It all started with a small single office and 2 staff members. Today, the League has branches in 70 strategically located cities across the nation, working to improve the educational, employment, housing, and health and welfare services of nearly 80% of all Negro Americans living in cities over 100,000 population. All right. Then it says the program of the local branches are coordinated and supervised by 5 regional offices. A paid staff of more than 60 carry out the day-to-day activities, backed up by more than 6,000 volunteers who serve as boards and committee members. All right. And then it says all League programs are planned to bring about positive change in the status of the Negro population. The Urban League also provides a unique machinery for effective communication between white and Negro citizens to avoid social misunderstanding and strife. This service for the League has assumed increased importance as the social revolution broadens. The tools of the Urban League are fact-finding, research, persuasion, negotiation, public education, and community organization. The need for the Urban League is underscored more today by the increasing number of requests from communities throughout the countries who are seeking to establish branches. And then it goes on to say in 1961, contribution to the national headquarters in New York City from all sources, including the industry, foundation, labor, civic, and fraternal organization amounted to about $300,000. Last year, these had risen to $1.5 million, which is $1,500,000. And new local leads, many with substantial staff and budgets of their own, are being added every few months. All right. So again, this is Whitney Young giving the outline, right? And basically he was saying that during that time in 1961, the organization raised about $300,000, right? And then the year before that, the number had over $1.5 million. So they was getting a lot of donation. Okay. Let's see. So it says basic lead action programs. Let's look at that. It says, although lead methods does not call for sit-ins and freedom rides, a recognized and vital part of the struggle for human rights, we join in demonstration which are focused on the general situation, such as the 1963 March on Washington. We helped to organize the march, sharing the aims and responsibilities of the civil rights groups that participated in it. Okay. The Urban League considered itself an action agency. Our action programs are designed to motivate youth to stay in school to get the best possible education, to expand the housing supply for the Negro population, to eliminate racial barriers in the employment and promotion of qualified Negroes, to strengthen Negro family life, and to stimulate self-help among Negro citizens in solving their problems. All right. It said it becomes clear then that the strategy of the Urban League is twofold. One, to help wipe out the last vestiges and barriers of discrimination, and two, to assist Negro citizens to rise through self-qualification until they can achieve the status of first-class citizenship, not only in name, but in fact. By working interracially, by obtaining the help of both the white and Negro community, by creating an atmosphere and climate of cooperation, and by emphasizing that it is in the best interest of all to work together, the Urban League hopes to effect changes which would not otherwise be possible. All right, so again, that's the article. And if you want to check out, if you want to read more information about it, here's the source right here. Okay, which is the Urban League and its strategy, written by Whitney Young Jr. So you can just check it out for yourself. All right. All right, then. So let me go ahead and stop the screen. All right, so that's all for today. That's the information about the National Urban League. So yes, it was founded today on September 29th, 1910, which was, that would probably be 110 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that'll be 110 years ago it was founded. Yeah, so it's been around that long. So, but we rarely hear much about them. You know, you rarely hear anything about the Urban League. You hear more about the NAACP than you do about the National Urban League. Pretty interesting, huh? But anyways, you guys, I have to go on about my day, and I thank you all for taking your time out for watching. If you please get a chance to, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Tiffany French. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the channel if you like, and also make sure you share the channel on Facebook as well. I mean, not the channel. Make sure you share the video on Facebook as well, so that way, you know, more people can watch and, you know, tune in and whatnot. you're more than welcome to do so. So until next time, I will come up with some more daily information, Black history, and also later on down the road, I'll make sure I come up with other topics, various topics. So you have to make sure you just tune in to the channel. As a matter of fact, you can look on my channels on YouTube and see all the topics that I have done, and all the information from history down to like science to like political stuff, social stuff, all of that. So yeah, it's all on the channel. But until then, you guys have a wonderful day. You have a wonderful afternoon, and please be safe, be careful, and that's that. All right, now. Take it easy. Peace. Mm-hmm.